And by one more second, I mean several more minutes. So just settling into your state, into your whatever's comfortable for you. Just do this final thing. Okay, here we go. Should be all set. Okay, so somatic inquiry practice today. As usual, take it lying down, take it standing up, take it on your back. Actually, probably for a good portion of this, you're going to want to be laying down. And it would be good if you had some pillows around you or some kind of bolstery things because we're going to be having our arms up and it's nice to have the pillows there to support your arms. But we'll start either seated or laying down, however you are, just coming in for a landing into your own body, into your own experience. And feeling into what it is like to be in your human body right now, or your fluid body, your body of earth, air, water, and fire. So we're going to start with just the theta breath in this landing, in this coming in. Theta breath is a soft hiss. Doesn't it, so it'll extend your exhale, start to bring you down into a slower tempo, more dialed down parasympathetic nervous system response so that we're not all amped up. And you'll just exhale for as long as it feels good. Inhale whenever you need to. This isn't a contest with yourself or anyone else to have the longest exhale. In through your nose, soft hiss out through your mouth. And we'll just start with that for a couple of minutes. Eyes open or eyes closed. So gentle hiss, very soft and easy, very relaxed. And you could imagine that that hissing sound is like a focus object or a shamatha object that's bringing your awareness back to yourself. So it's not that it has to be that your awareness just focuses tightly on the hiss, but that you're just inviting yourself back into yourself. Anything that's traveled off, any thoughts that are wandering out there, any worries, any fantasies and daydreams, bring yourself back into sensation in your body right now and use that breath to help guide you like a light, the lamp, the lighthouse, theta breath that's coming from you. And as you're landing in yourself at this point, inviting any little micro movement, any little adjustments to come online. Maybe it's little teeny interior flows happening, just adjusting into whatever feels most comfortable and easy, inviting in the sense of ease into your body. Even if it's just in your imagination, even if you're like, I don't feel easy right now, I feel all whatever. Imagine what would it be like if calling yourself back brought a sense of ease. I guess the sense of ease that I'm thinking about is oh, there's nothing to do here, ease. Like I don't have to do anything. I can just rest with myself in my experience. And if your inner critics or inner judges, or am I doing it this right, come online, you can just look at them with kindness and let them sit beside you, but not participate fully in your experience. Like, oh, yeah, it's okay that you're there, but I don't need you right now. Everyone's invited to the campfire, but nobody's allowed to take over the energy, right? We're just together with it. So for me, as I come into this sensation, like I almost feel like there's a pouring down from my head down through my neck to my body. So I kind of want to work with that with my hands. We're going to get more into an actual protocol that is this developed by a person who's a movement analyst and a uh, craniosacral worker, Jacky Hand, that I learned from her. So we're going to get there, but let's just start with hands very gently. You can rub them together. Hello, Jay. Welcome. Um, you can just rub your hands together and you're going to take your hands on your head and just gently, gently, and you can be camera off if that's easier, however it feels good. Gently, almost like you are like the very soft, gentle water is flowing down your body. So from the crown of your head coming down, just and it can be like head and neck, or it could be like down your whole body. But with this idea, imagining that you are coming down to earth, right? You're feeling the hands, you're feeling the connection of your hands on your body, and you're just inviting yourself to come into real presence with your own body, real presence in your body mind. Just like it can be slow or fast, whatever tempo feels right to you. And it can be very gentle and light, like just like the lightest touch, or it can be more firm. Listen into your sense of what feels good, how it feels good to receive the touch and how it feels good to touch. Like what is the most comforting, gratifying, soothing. And you can just give yourself a little information as you're doing this that I am right here. This is me. Here I am. And I belong here because I'm here. Wherever you, what is it? Wherever you are, there you are. And gravity says you belong. So letting yourself connect down to the planet, to the ground, to your body, being here on the earth in this body. And you belong. You are welcome to be here. And if you have a part of yourself that says, I'm not so sure I belong here, maybe there's a little resistance, that's okay. They are welcome too. The resistance is welcome. All of it is welcome. So we'll keep going a couple, maybe one or two more theta breaths. So it's a regular inhale through your nose and a gentle hiss through your mouth. You can still use your hands or let it come to a rest, whatever feels good to you. Tuning into the fluid in your body and the fact that the fluid is deeply related to this gravitational pull of the earth. If I move, it's a combo between my fibers and my fluids that help me sense where the ground is. So just letting the fluid help us comprehend our connection to the earth, help us feel connected. Letting the fluid, if we move a little bit, we feel the movement of the fluid, the movement of the fascia, and we're inviting in that very fluid movement in micro movement or macro movement into our experience so that we are not locking up against anything, but we're allowing this internal flow to move with and through us. almost like a balloon with the air coming out of the balloon. It's going to make its way down towards the ground, like or a feather coming down to the ground. Just imagine this grounding energy drawing us down to the earth. And I'm seeing those images because there's movement in those, and I'm feeling it in my own body, this just gentle movement, wave-like tentacle movement, maybe with my hands and arms, or wave movement in my body, just freeing up any kind of corseting or armoring or rigidity that I place on myself. I'm just going to let that fall away for this little bit of time. I'm coming in close so that you can see what the next move is. So we're going to find this place. So here's this little nub next to my ear is called my tragus. And here's like where my jaw is, and I can feel my bottom bones of my jaw and my top bones. You're going to come in just over that top bone of the jaw, and right in here, there should be like a little teeny indentation just above, like right there. Tragus, just kind of above the tragus. And I'm just going to take my fingers really, really light and really soft and really gentle and make little tiny circles in there. Closing my eyes, allowing myself to come into the sensation and really feel into the movement, soft, gentle, tiny movement of those circles. And it might feel good to go in one direction. It might feel better to go in another direction. It might feel better with a different finger doing it. Like I'm just trying them all to see what feels the best. Awakening the sensitivity of each of my fingers to this touch on my head. And I'm moving my head just a little bit here as well. So this is really not to do something, it's more to feel into, to bring your awareness into sensation, to feel into yourself. So don't worry about doing it right or wrong, because there isn't any right or wrong with this. Just letting yourself come in, probably easier if your eyes are closed to feel into that. Inviting your nervous system to slow down. We're going to do one more thing before I go down the floor. And you can probably go down the floor, or you could stay seated, or however you want to be, whatever's comfortable for you. The last thing that we're going to do is you're just going to take your hands on your sternocleidomastoid, these big muscles coming down. And you could cross to do it, or you could be laying on your back and cross, or you can be here, however it feels good to you. With your eyes, you can open to see what I'm doing. I'm just going to really gently open and close my mouth just a little bit. And I'm just going to feel that movement in my hands. And once you get what you're doing, go ahead and close your eyes and just stay present with that. And it doesn't have to be like open, close, open, close. It can be like kind of flutters that open or fluttering that closes, or maybe one area feels really good to explore. But we're inviting any kind of tension in the jaw, in the throat, in the tongue to just soften. And I want to say that I sometimes kind of imagine that I have gills. Like, you know how fishes' gills are moving to help them breathe. So if I had these gills kind of here on the side of my neck, right around my sternocleidomastoid, if I had these little gills, that's kind of what the feeling of that movement is like, this fluttering. And it just allows me to deepen my awareness into sensation and notice if I'm holding tension up there. It could be just a tiny little micro movement that's happening with the opening and closing, or it could be big, whatever feels right to you in your body. Allow your own curiosity to land in the experience. Could be very slow and very micro. Notice what's going on with your breath. I'm still pretty much breathing through my nose as I do this, kind of shutting the back of my throat, but you might be breathing through your mouth. It's fine for this moment. Great. So as all of this is going on, if any kind of micro movement or big macro movement comes up and you want to move, go for it. I'm just going to show you the next spot that we're going to hold on to, and then I'm going to lay down on the floor to touch that area. So it's right here at the nape of the neck. And I'm just going to put my fingers there. I'm not poking in, I'm just lightly touching. Could be even like your hairline. And we're just going to imagine that the foramen magnum, the part of our cranium that has a hole where our brain and into our nervous system is going down into our spine. We're just going to imagine that fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid, can really move easily in there. And just by touching lightly on the back of the neck, we're just inviting that flow to open up. And I'm preparing myself with all my pillows down here so that when we go a little further, uh, my arms have something to lean on. So you might want to get some stuff to just fully support your body. If you need a pillow, use a pillow. You want to be in a position that feels comfortable. So I'm here and I'm just going to close my eyes and feel into and imagine into that space. So the cerebrospinal fluid is supporting our brain and our nervous system, our spinal cord, and it's also nourishing it and then eliminating waste. So it comes out of our brain, moves down through our spinal cord, comes back up to our brain, and then it exits again and goes and exits out through the bloodstream. So it does this 3 or 4 times a day, and that is like a detoxifier and cleaner of the brain and the nervous system, the spinal cord. So we're just putting our fingers here to imagine that the movement of that cerebrospinal fluid is happening easily. And if it feels like you want to add some micro movement, some head-tail connection, and that micro movement might be like little tiny stretches and little tiny releases, like just a tiny little elongation and a tiny little relax. Or it might be bigger. It's really listening to your own body and allowing it to proceed, doing whatever feels good for your own body. Yeah, so for here, I'm just gonna do a tiny little yes, tiny little nod of my head, relaxing my jaw, relaxing my neck, relaxing my throat, and letting my eyeballs soften into my head. And maybe a little teeny no, turning my head from side to side. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to relax any tension I encounter. So if there's some resistance in there, if there's some protection helping you, supporting you, it's not like we want to wipe it all away, but we want to maybe just give it a little bit more ease, a little bit more relaxation. And then I'm going to go for this first diagonal. So I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to rub them together one more time, and I'm going to sit up to show you. I'm going to take my right hand on my upper right quadrant and my left hand on the lower left. So I'm hitting this diagonal through my head from the front to the back, right? And I'm just going to lay there with that diagonal between the palms of my hands and imagine that there's a connection between that right frontal lobe and that lower back sort of brainstem area. And just feeling into that for a couple of breaths. Maybe there's micro movement, maybe there's not. And maybe you're sensing different things in your body, like maybe you can feel different pulses, your blood flow, different sort of energies, or the buzz of your nervous system. Just start to notice what comes online for you when you're present with yourself in this way. And maybe even invite it in like a honored guest, relationship to yourself, to your own systems, coming online and into coherence so that your body mind is working together in harmony for your greater good. Whenever you feel like you're ready, you can change that. You may want to stay there for a while. I'm just moving through this whole protocol so that we can also have some time for movement at the end. But it might be that you don't get through the whole thing. You might be in one part and just be like, oh, I just need to stay here. And that is totally fine. You don't have to finish the whole thing. Any part of this is going to be helpful. So the next thing is the left forward to the back, lower back. So left forward high to right back low. Sorry, left forward high to right back low. If your head was a cube, you'd be hitting these corners through the middle, hitting through the diagonal of the cube. And maybe even under your hands, you can feel pulses or movement. My touch is very light on my head. I'm not trying to push in at all, but it might be different for you. Letting yourself rest in your experience and feeling the support of your hands on your head. Kind and gentle support. Might also be that you feel other parts of your body a lot, like other things may be coming online. And if you need to wriggle or adjust or do anything, feel free to do that. Just being present with yourself in sensation and allowing your body to speak. Like, oh, I need to wiggle, I need to adjust, or maybe I just need to relax into this. And then I'm going to let go of that one and I'm going to show you the last thing I'm going to do. Well, it's not the last thing. I'm going to do two more things. I'm just going to take out my earbuds so that I can actually do it. I'm going to pull on my ears. I'm going to grab in and give a little pull down. So there's like you want to make sure you get into your ear, just a little teeny pull. There's a whole, what is it called? The tentorum cerebri, something, or I don't know. It's like this little cerebral tent that's keeping the upper brain and the lower parts of your head separate, right? And when we pull it, we're just pulling the tent out a little bit, just pulling that big uh, fascia down and out. So that little teeny pull, tentorum cerebelli, something like that. And then the last thing in this protocol that I'm adding, which is a Reiki thing, is rubbing your hands together one more time and then just taking your hands and cupping them over your eyes. If you need pillows on under your arms somehow, or if you need to find a way to make it more comfortable, go for it. Let yourself adjust. Listen to the required adjustments for you and do them. Trust that your body has a lot of intelligence if you learn to connect to it and don't override it all of the time. Really inviting the fluid systems in your body to move unhampered on their way. So our blood flow, our lymph, even the extracellular matrix, which is not really moving so much. It's in movement with us. Maybe there's some adjustment in movement, but allowing the fluidity within your body to move without constriction or blockage. We could think of the endothelium, the lining of our blood, our veins and arteries and heart. Just having some space, spaciousness, allowed to move. We're not blocking it. So tension masks flow, or tension masks sensation, and tension blocks flow. And healthy tissue needs that flow. So I'm going to let us just move on. I'm going to share sound, and we can go into just a movement exploration, which might be an exploration of stillness, or you may still be in some of the places that we just worked. Back of the neck, jaw, tragus, these diagonals, anything that feels supportive and nurturing for your system. I'm going to share sound and put on music and let your body move in any way that feels good, really allowing it to disentangle. It could be even like thoughts about how things should be. Let that just be what it is. These ambient fields. Didn't that mean to start there? Just gonna back it up. Sorry about that. I'm imperfect. Yay! All right. Yeah, letting your body be what it is. Perfectionism can just go out the window. Being present with the what is in your body. Inviting in micro movement, which could be these tiny little stretches and releases. Explorations in novel territory, right? If we go to the places where we're familiar and we know everything, we might not have the chance to open up in the way that we can if we experience the freshness of the moment and the aliveness of our body. And let the music just give you some inspiration to move or not to move. Whatever your response is the correct one for you. You can also imagine that as you're breathing, that the breath is moving through you, oxygen moving through your body, also creating space, right? When we breathe, we're creating this interior space, letting us melt and relax into that space. Giving yourself the opportunity to experience like whatever the reality of this moment is through your body mind without resisting it, if that feels okay. It might be that the resistance is tremendously skillful and helpful and has gotten you to this point. So if you feel like, no, this is who I am, I need to hold on to it, then hold on to it. But if you can let go of some of that tension, just let it melt away. Composted by the elements. I now have my assistant here helping out, helping and hindering. Allowing yourself to explore what it is to be you in this moment, in movement or stillness, as if you've never been here before, as if it is all brand new. But maybe there's like waves of familiarity with it. Kind to all parts of yourself within the experience. Or at least civil. If kindness doesn't come naturally, be stiffly proper with yourself. Coming back to touch anytime you need to. The grounding nature of touch. It's two parts coming together to like connect and say, I'm here. So invite that in whenever you need it. Touch can be light, just touching like the surface of the hairs on your skin, or you can get in deeper where you're connecting to the superficial fascia, the sort of fleece covering your whole body underneath your skin, or you can go deeper into your muscles or into your bones. Like feel what feels good and right to you. Everyone and every day, even, like we have different needs within the department of touch, or the realm of touch, or the realm of sensation. Always just come into each moment with the question, what am I feeling now? How is this? What is going on? Tuning into the real, like, sensation of it, letting go of the story. They say a lot, like, you know, I feel like a lot of meditation teachers talk about the granularity of experience. And it sounds like we're all talking of sugar or sand or something in those grains, but maybe it's more like the viscosity of experience. What's the viscosity of your experience or the surface tension of your experience? What is the air quality of your experience? And I don't mean like the good quality or bad quality. I mean like the qualities of the air in your experience. Like, is it like a breeze, or is it kind of still? Is it like a big violent wind? Are you taking a deep breath, or is it very light? Are you breathing as deeply as you need to? Not that we need to breathe deeply all the time, but sometimes I notice that I'm holding in my gut body a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, maybe if I let that go, I can let the breath in more. Nothing to hold on to in the gut. I don't need to hold it. It can take up space, be voluminous. Giving yourself time to just process being a person. Process all the experiences on this in this sort of movement somatic way where it's not necessarily processing it by storytelling, but processing it by allowing ourselves to move, experience ourselves, our CELLS, as we move. Yes, I'm coming back to this head-tail relationship. We did so much head stuff, but coming back into this idea of a head-tail relationship. Cerebrospinal fluid moving through, nourishing, creating space inside of my spinal cord. Exploring sensation. slowly. Give us just a couple more minutes to allow yourself to process without the input of the music. Process the processing. And maybe there's still movement, maybe not, whatever feels right to you. Some of us have lifetimes of movement in us, and some of us not so much. So honor whatever that is going on for your own system. When I close my eyes and just go in, I can still feel these sort of waves, sort of a back and down descent. And I am going to stop the live stream. And I know there's a couple people out there in TV land. So if you are out there in TV land, give yourself some time to calm down before you go operate any heavy machinery.